Willkommen zurück zu Tales of Arise. Ja, wir rasten hier gerade immer noch vom letzten Mal. Und jetzt führen wir es nochmal durch. Ja, Grillhähnchen, wie gesagt, ich weiß noch nicht, warum ich das machen wollen würde. Leider. Ist irgendwie nicht so geil. Ich frage mich, wie ich Fleischreste kontinuierlich bekommen kann. Weil ich sonst irgendwann keinen Kebab mehr machen kann. Weil das kann ich nicht irgendwie anbauen. Sobald die übrige Wegdauer weniger als die Hälfte beträgt. Das heißt, der Effekt dieses Essens wird besser, sobald die Hälfte der Zeit um ist. Und es ist eine recht lange Zeit. Das ist okay. Machen wir einen Rindereintopf. Lieben, hau rein.
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Das ist ja auch das geheime Gericht aus dem Palast, nicht wahr? Das muss er ja beherrschen. Und Law, sehr schön.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Oh, hey, Alphen. What's up?
Nothing. I was just surprised to see you weren't training for once. Got a stomachache or something?
You know I don't literally train around the clock, right? I do take breaks.
Do you? It seems like you're training every chance you get.
Well, yeah, it can't be helped if I want to get stronger. Still, it's important to let your muscles rest every now and then. That's what my dad told me anyway.
Zephyr said that?
When I was a little kid, yeah. I would get so excited whenever he came home. I always followed him wherever he went and tried to learn as much from him as I could. He said, it's good to be passionate, but don't overdo it. Just like there are times when you want to take a break from studying, sometimes your body wants to take a break from training too. I was always rushing around and forgetting to rest, so he ended up telling me that a lot.
That definitely sounds like him.
It's nothing to get sad over. Still, I can't help but wonder if that was my dad's way of teaching me the dangers of rushing into things too quickly. Then again, maybe I'm just overthinking things. I wish I'd had more time to talk to him about this kind of stuff.
Es ist übrigens sehr schön, dass wir durch die Charaktere, die Bindung mit den Charakteren standen, die verstorben sind, noch ein bisschen was von denen hören. Ist ja sonst so oft schnell vergessen. Ich finde es auch hier emotional gesehen unheimlich schnell überstanden alles, wie es oftmals in Serien, Filmen und Geschichten ist, wie schnell das abgehakt ist. Aber zumindest reden wir noch drüber. Das ist schon viel wert. Du hast jetzt eine tiefe Verbindung zu Law. Gut. Ja, ich spiele noch ein bisschen weiter mit Shion. Ich glaube, ich will noch mal ganz kurz auf ihre Arts zugreifen. Wir wollen mal testweise gucken, wie das ist, wenn ich wirklich eher auf Ranged gehe. Ich finde das Grafik, das Feld ist ein super Skill. Und die Bombe ist eigentlich auch ganz cool. Aber wir haben auch Skills, die, glaube ich, ein bisschen praktischer wären. Gemini Aqua ist auf jeden Fall ein sehr guter Schussskill. Genau wie Magnerstrahl. Vernichtung war dieser Bodenlaser, ne? Den haben wir auch eine Zeit lang mal benutzt, als wir sie kurz mal ausgewählt hatten. Ich glaube, ich tue da oben jetzt nochmal die Luchsbombe rein. Den Rest lasse ich so. Moment, nee, ich wollte noch kurz über den Aerial Arts gucken. Da. Tres Ventos ist sehr praktisch. Sehr, sehr praktischer Move. Verwandte Erde ist ganz cool, wenn es nah dran ist, aber sonst nicht mehr so geil. Sprengung ist auch zu nah dran. Ich glaube, Speerstreich folgt eine riesige Welle Astralenergie horizontal ab. Ist, glaube ich, viel mehr so eine Art. Ja, ich muss mal gucken. Ich muss es mal anschauen. Ich habe es euch schon mal gesehen. Das hat sich so ein bisschen wie so ein Push angefühlt. Ein Aerial Push, aber ich gucke nochmal. Ein wässriger Stoß, was immer drin ist, fand ich die hohe Reichweite, ist aber trotzdem ein ganz guter Move. Machen wir es nochmal so. Okay. Sonst muss ich nichts mehr tun? Nein.
Ready to hit the road? I know I am.
Ja, ich hoffe immer, dass ich auf dem richtigen Weg bin, aber das macht ja irgendwie Sinn, oder? Und sonst würde ich sowieso mal hier vorbeischauen wollen, ne? Verborgene Werft, hier sind wir richtig, alles klar.
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
Es ist nicht so, als ob Law noch nie einen Aufzug gesehen hätte. Keine Ahnung, warum man glaubt, dass es hier eine Sackgasse sein würde. ziemlich nebelig da vorne. Unangenehm. Geradezu. Einen Gesprächspartner habe ich hier jetzt nicht erwartet. Oder mehrere sogar. Absolut nicht.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danits. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almadria.
Ist hier vielleicht nicht der beste Arbeitsplatz auf der Welt, aber wenigstens muss man sich nicht den ganzen Tag Sorgen machen zu verhungern. Du kannst nicht aufs Meer rausfahren, um zu angeln, aber wenn dir ein Fluss genügt, gibt's da draußen eine hübsche Stelle mit Fischen ohne Ende. Ja, den haben wir schon benutzt, den haben wir schon einen schönen dicken Fisch gefangen. Letztes Mal, als ich hart überzogen habe. Ja gut, eigentlich war es noch im Rahmen, aber ich versuche normalerweise unter 50 zu bleiben, wenn möglich. Wirklich komisch, dass Lord Almadria hier hindurchkommt, ohne uns vorher Bescheid zu geben. Sie ist auch mit einem ordentlichen Trupp aufgeborgen. Ich frage mich, was dahinter steckt. Ich weiß nicht mehr als du. Ich bin froh, dass sie uns nicht gebeten hat, mitzukommen. Kraftschmanke, sehr schön. Ich könnte mittlerweile eine Bereitschaft haben, meine normalen Schmankerls auszugeben, aber so viel habe ich davon trotzdem nicht, ne? Wie viel habe ich davon normalen Schmankerls? 3. Also ich habe gerade gleich viel. Ich habe mal einen Schmankerl benutzt, aber mittlerweile sind die Kraftschmankerl durch den Standard geworden, die nicht mehr ganz so krass. Also wenn mal Bossfight ist, sollte ich die ruhig mal ausgeben. Ich war ewig nicht mehr zurück in Niers. Wenn mir nicht ein Strahlauge auf dem Deck die Hölle heiß macht, macht mir ein anderes Strahlauge an den Docks die Hölle heiß. Apropos, hast du gehört? Angeblich ist in der Fracht Diebesgut, das jemand von außerhalb des Reiches reingeschmuggelt hat. Ja, habe ich gehört, aber das geht uns nichts an, was drin ist. Wir bearbeiten die Fracht und gut ist. Ja, hast recht. Wir haben genug Sorgen damit, wie schwer es wird, die Sachen rumzuschleppen. Dieses Boot hier dient als Fruchtschiff. Fährt immer mit einem leeren Laderaum los und kommt mit vollem zurück. Ziemlich groß, stimmt's? Aber im Vergleich zu Lord Almadrias persönlichen Schiff ist das eine mickrige Nussschale. Immer oder mal? Ich meine, das hätte mal auch der Transporter sein können für das, was sie aus dem vorigen Reich transportiert haben. Aber vielleicht ist es auch noch für andere Sachen gut. Makrele. Okay, dann geht's hier weiter. Kommen wir auch wieder mal zurück. Ich speichere mal sicherheitshalber, bevor wir hier weitergehen. Schon wieder lange her, dass ich gespeichert habe. Ich speichere viel zu selten. Aber er hat doch Autosaves, ne? Also.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set, and we'll set sail.
Alles klar, Mahava. Ich habe schon gespeichert, also ich bin bereit. Auch wenn ich ein bisschen Schiss habe. Ich gehe mal aus davon, dass dieses Schiff, was ich hatte, weil das so groß sein soll, nach der Beschreibung, und hier wahrscheinlich der ganze Anlegeplatz von hier bis da für das Schiff notwendig war, eine Art Dungeon sein wird. Macht irgendwie Sinn, oder? Also, let's go. Bereit, in See zu stechen? Segel setzen. Dann haltet euch besser gut fest, denn es könnte ungemütlich werden. Das beschleunigt aber auch nicht.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Of course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
Deine Gruppe hat sich aufgelöst.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
Es wird mir ein Daumen, bis wir sie einholen. Also verdreht euch die Beine. Seht auch nach, wie es dem Rest der Mannschaft geht. Hier ist die Musik so viel lauter als jemals zuvor, aber deswegen will ich jetzt keine Umstellung machen. Das ist okay.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almadria, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almadria?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved.
Das wundert
Perhaps
mich auch.
they
Ja.
see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almadria did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almadria do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almadria resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
Ja, ich dachte ja schon, dass ich da stark von ausgehe, dass durch die Tatsache, dass das Ende dieser Lord-Spiele ansteht, sie einfach jede Chance ergriffen hat, so viel Energie wie möglich noch zu collecten, also die Sense rausgeholt hat, einfach alles niedergemäht hat, was möglich war.
You don't look so good. Are you all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almadria were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almadria did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Es ist ja eigentlich eine sehr interessante Geschichte, die wir hier erleben. Mit der Unterdrückung, dem Widerstand und dass nicht alles schwarz und weiß sind. Das sind wichtige, wichtige Lehren, die man daraus ziehen sollte. Es ist ganz oft so bei diesen Spielen, vor allem weil wir so oft diese Thematik haben, nicht das erste Mal, dass in Tales of 2 Welten existieren. Ja? Wenn ich bedenke, wir haben diese Welt, was hier passiert, wir haben diesen Mond, der dazwischen ist und dann die andere Welt und dann diese Thematik. Es ist alles super interessant. Ich habe diese Befürchtung innerlich und ich hoffe, ich verirre mich, aber ich habe diese Befürchtung, dass das Spiel dem nachher nicht ganz gerecht wird. Ich kann das nicht wissen. Ich hoffe, ich irre mich, aber ich weiß ja nicht. Also das ist so viel. Es ist echt viel, das gut umzusetzen. Ich glaube ja nicht, ich befürchte, dass wir niemals auf den anderen Planeten rübergehen werden. Das glaube ich nicht. Das wird nicht passieren. Aber dann würden viele Fragen offen bleiben, wie die Sachen passieren und wie das jetzt weitergehen soll und so weiter und so fort. Abhängig davon, wie sich das Ganze überhaupt auflöst. Vielleicht ist es auch gerade nur Blödsinn, den ich labere für euch, aber ich bin mal gespannt. Ich bin mal sehr gespannt. Gut. Rinwell und dann noch Shion.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almadria, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadeye. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almadria. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almadria when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Absolut schrecklich. Das kannst du davon ausgehen. Deswegen habe ich auch immer irgendwo mein Verständnis dafür, wie Xion ist. Einfach allein schon deswegen nicht wahrscheinlich in ihrer Vergangenheit sowieso noch Sachen sein werden, die wir aufdecken werden, die schlimm genug waren, ist allein diese Tatsache extrem. Ich weiß natürlich auch nicht genau, wann dieser Fluch hier auferlegt wurde, seit wann sie das hat, aber es ist kein Wunder, dass sie dann nicht wirklich so normal agiert, wie man vielleicht von anderen erwarten würde. So, dann also jetzt Xion.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almadria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cislodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it.
True.
So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Xion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Na, wir wissen nicht so wirklich, wie das funktionieren will. Ich frage mich, ob sie das weiß oder ob da was mit zusammenhängt, was problematisch sein könnte.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almadria. I'll ask Mahavar.
Wenn sie das dann erschafft und was sie dann genau damit machen kann und wie das funktioniert, ist ja alles eigentlich ziemlich unklar für uns. Naja. Speichern wir doch mal die ganzen Gespräche ab. Ich habe nur die ganze Zeit vor Augen gehabt, wie sie sein Lebensbalken leert, während sie seine Hand hält. Und er merkt es gar nicht. Aber ich weiß immer noch nicht wirklich, ob das Dorngedönse ernsthaft Schäden zufügt oder ob es wirklich einfach nur Schmerzen auslöst. Und die natürlich auch logischerweise zur Ohnmacht führen können. Aber wenn man sich halt nicht spürt, dass dann vielleicht sogar egal ist. Keine Ahnung. Oder ob das wirklich auch Schaden zufügt. Das Schiff hat einen größeren Vorsprung, als ich dachte. Wenn ihr noch ein Meckerchen machen legen wollt, bevor es ernst wird, ist jetzt die Chance. Dann ruhen wir uns aus. Ich hätte einen riesen Seesügel erwartet, der uns hier aufs Deck springt und uns angreift. Bei einer Schiffsfahrt in einem JRPG.
Look who's up.
Passiert das häufiger mal.
We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
Ja. Oh, ja, das ist ein Riesenschiff. Eher eine Seefestung, eine
That's
mobile.
the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
So praktisch, dass sie die offen gelassen haben für uns. Sehr nett.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Sie hätten noch ein großes Ungetüm erschaffen. Juhu.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almadria.
Ich frage mich, ob wir überhaupt gegen sie kämpfen oder sie wirklich einfach nur ihre getamten Monster benutzen wird. Ich habe schon das Gefühl, dass sie auch gute Magierin sein würde. Vielleicht kämpft sie auch zusammen mit dem Vieh. Das könnte stressig werden, ne? Aber ich hoffe nicht. Mobile Festung Gradia. Okay. Mitglieder der Gruppe verlassen haben, sind zurückgekehrt.
Shion, I want to thank you.
What brought this on?
What you said helped to calm me.
Don't mention it.
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahagsar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelselik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almadria plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
Die other
I wouldn't
Lords?
put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah, you're right.
Also ich glaube, zurücklehnen und zuschauen, wie die anderen Lords das unter sich ausfechten, könnte ein bisschen schwierig sein, weil es ja nur noch einen anderen Lord gibt, oder? Oder gibt es noch andere? Ich meinte doch, es waren jetzt wirklich pro Reich einer. Also gibt es ja nur noch einen, oder? Na gut, ich würde die Folge einfach mal hier beenden, bevor wir das nächste Gespräch mitnehmen und dieses Schiff erkunden, weil die letzte Folge ein bisschen sehr lang geraten ist. Halten wir die sich ein bisschen kürzer. Ich danke fürs Zusehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye, bye. Bis dann.